Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions. How about those Chiefs?
Welcome to the Kingdom Corner here with Dale and Andrew. But let me tell you something about Dale before we jump into this. So Dale is my friend, has been my friend for a long, long time. I'm not sure even how many years at this point, but quite a few there. But let me introduce this man to you officially. This is the man that believed 13 seconds was possible before anyone else knew 13 seconds was possible. This is the man that said, have faith, Andrew. They'll come back. When I said, it's over. And what do you know? They came back to tie the game and beat the Bills in that. Fantastic. Yeah. Once in a lifetime opportunity to watch that playoff game against the Bills. So, man. Dale, welcome.
I will never forget that game. Never.
Oh, man. And the fact that we are there in person to watch that is just incredible. To
see the souls of the Buffalo Bills fans in front of us leave their bodies was unreal.
That's right. Yeah. So. Hey, and that's not a joke either. Like the Bills went up 13 seconds left. And I thought, well, it's over. I said that out loud, and Dale said, "Have faith, Andrew. Have faith." Like he was confident that the Chiefs could pull something out.
I don't know why.
I'm not sure about how confident on the inside, but on the outside, he did at least.
Someone's got to be optimistic. Someone's got to be optimistic.
I guess so. It was you that day, that's for sure. So, well, if you're not already, make sure you're following us, subscribe to this, like it, share with your friends. Man, we appreciate all of the support. And, man, this week we got Dolphins week over in Germany. So, hey, shout out to all of our Germany listeners.
That's right.
Guys over there, girls over there, whoever it is. So we are so appreciative of you too. And, man, and are so glad you're part of Chiefs Kingdom here with us.
Yes. Yeah, you speak in the Deutsch.
That's right. If I knew some more German phrases, I could say them, but actually I probably wouldn't, because I'd butcher them too bad. So and I wouldn't want to unintentionally do that even. So, but either way, Chiefs are heading over to Germany. The Dolphins have already headed over there. I think they left on Monday or maybe Tuesday.
They did.
The Chiefs are heading over on Thursday, and so they're cutting it a few more days closer to the actual game time. So there's been a lot of speculation about, if they should have gone earlier like the Dolphins or not. But either way, Andy Reid has said that, he's just kind of used that strategy for other overseas games, and it's worked out for him. And so he's not too worried about it. So I have faith in him to do whatever he needs to do. He's a Hall of Fame coach. So
that's right. I heard they're leaving Thursday night. They're going to get there Friday morning, and then they're going to get a practice in right away. So I think he's got a plan. And so I trust Andy Reid, and Andy Reid we trust. Brett Veach we trust. Pat Mahomes we trust. Right. So we're going to roll with that, and I think it should be good.
Hey, well, you brought Brett Veach up, so now I have to ask the question. There's been a lot of talk as of late after the Chiefs did not make any trade before the trade deadline. One of us here, we won't give any shout outs, but one of us said that was probably going to happen, that there was going to be no moves made. And no moves were made, but a lot of Chiefs Kingdom, they were clamoring for a wide receiver to make a big difference, and nothing was done. And now it seems to be on social media, at least, so take that for what you will of the percentage, but a lot of social media people are now saying that Brett Veach should be kicked out and get a better GM in there.
Come on, give me a break. He's hit on all these different. So we traded Tyreek Hill, right? And look at the defense we have now because of the trade with Tyreek Hill. All those picks that we have is because of the trade of Tyreek Hill. And so if you want to fire Brett Veach, man, that's messed up. I know we get fickled. I know we get fickled, and I know I wanted to fire old Spags, but we just gotta wait it out. We gotta just see what's gonna happen. And so I think Brett Veach has proven himself, not only with Pat Mahomes, but with all the other picks he's picked. Some he's missed, Sky Moore in particularly. He's missed on that, but for most of the time he hits. And so, let's just calm down. And I think you pointed out, which is the big fact, is you pointed out our salary cap is not in the greatest shape. And so we can't really make all those moves that we want to make.
Right. Yeah. And so I think we have somewhere around 3 million in cap space, which, you know, to the average person like us, you know, 3 million is like, oh, you know, I'd do that for half that cost. Right.
Yeah.
But for NFL players of the caliber that some of the fans are wanting, it's nowhere near the price they need. Even to, for example, if they wanted to even trade for Juju again, they couldn't afford him on that.
Right.
Because Juju is making way more than that per year. Now, I think he's making somewhere around 11 million a year, something like that, with the Patriots. So even if they wanted to bring a guy like that back, which I don't think anybody's even clamoring for him, but that's a kind of the quality of person. I won't say quality of person, but the player that they're trying to look for. And they couldn't, the Chiefs with their cap issues could not even afford that. So and if they were to get somebody of the caliber that all these people are asking for, they're going to have to give so much draft capital for them that, you know, you're going to maybe be good this year, but maybe you hurt yourself in the long run too. And I've said before, and we've both said it before, and we're going to say it again, is we're not trying to win a championship one year. We're trying to win championships year after year.
Yeah.
And so you can't go all in for 1 year to, you know, hurt your chances for the next 5 years. So we want to be competitive this year. Absolutely. But we also want to be competitive for the years to come. So I trust Brett Veach. He's proven that he can turn something around. He's turned the offensive line around in one season before, and now has done it twice, including this year. A couple years ago, the defense needed to be turned around, and, you know, in just a couple years, the defense has now been turned around. You know, so it's just the same issue that every team deals with for the most part, is wherever you invest your money in heavily is the side you're most likely going to be good in. Obviously, things on paper don't always translate to the field, but most like that's where it is. And one side or the other is going to suffer a little bit depending on how heavily you invest in the other side. So that's just kind of where the Chiefs are at right now.
Right. And so, I mean, like, even like the offensive line, they restructured all that offensive line like in a season.
Yeah.
And I think you bring up a valid point where, like, hey, we don't want to just win one championship this year. Because look at the Rams. Yes, they won the championship, but they are a dumpster fire right now. And I think they would much rather be in a position where, hey, they're competing, they're winning. I mean, they're like third in their division because the Cardinals are in the division, right? And so, that's the only reason why they're third. And
got a lot of overly paid players on their team who are not performing right now.
Right. And so, or you have to trade those guys like Jalen Ramsey. You have to trade other key pieces on your team to just survive.
Yep. And which is what they did. They had to.
Yeah. So
just
who knows?
Under the cap.
So who knows what the Rams will be. And so, like the Buffalo Bills, I know they made a lot of trades and they made a lot of movement, but who knows what that means for their team. The 49ers made a bunch of moves. So there's no way all those guys, they can pay all those guys. And so it's just like, wow, are you just going to hemorrhage your franchise for just one Super Bowl, which I know the 49ers, it's been a long time since they've been back, but I would much rather play the long game and figure out with the players that we have, how can we be better?
Yep, absolutely. So you bring up Jalen Ramsey, so let's dive into that. So Jalen Ramsey is now with the Dolphins, right? And so he just had his first game back last week. Seemed to be playing pretty good. So the Dolphins defense is the weakest part of their game.
Right.
So on offense, the Dolphins rank first in everything. They're first overall in offense. They're first in passing, first in rushing, and first in scoring.
Man.
They're just the best at everything right now. That's just who they are. The Chiefs aren't too far behind overall. Some others, they are further behind, but Chiefs are fourth overall in offense, third in passing, 21st in rushing. So that kind of fell down a bit after the last game against the Broncos, which they decided not to run in for whatever reason. Who knows? I guess. Anyways, we dived into that last one. We don't have to go into that again. But then the Chiefs are 12th in scoring. So Chiefs offense is averaging a little over 23 points a game. The Dolphins offense is averaging almost 34 points a game. So now we got the Dolphins defense. You know, they're kind of middle of the pack in everything and in scoring. So they're 15th overall, 16 passing, 17 rushing, 25th in scoring. They're allowing about 25.5 points a game. So it's quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is where the Chiefs are a little more balanced because the Chiefs are 4th overall in offense, but they're also 4th overall in defense as far as
Wow.
total yards allowed. So they're 2nd in passing, 19th in rushing, and 2nd in scoring. So they're allowing about 16 points a game, 16.1 if you want to be exact. So Jalen Ramsey comes to the Dolphins, right? He jumps in there, makes an impact week 1. And so do you think Jalen Ramsey is going to make a difference to help that Dolphins defense out in the long run to improve some of those numbers?
Yeah, I think in the long run he does, because I think, when you get great players around, they kind of raise the bar and, want excellence and demand excellence. But yeah, I don't think he can't cover everybody on the field, right? He can't cover every wide receiver. He can't cover Travis Kelce and MBS or Watson but he can help in different areas. And when it seems like when there's greatness on the field, other people's rise up to that level of greatness. And so he's a great player. I think a lot of times he maybe probably takes more risk, if you will, than reward. I think that'd probably be the only knock on Jalen Ramsey. He takes a lot, but dude,
he's
he'll hit
like
you
Marcus
hard.
Peters.
Yep. He'll hit you hard. He plays hard. He's around the ball a lot. And so, yeah, he's definitely a great defensive player. But I think there's a lot of risk he takes. And sometimes it benefits him and sometimes he gets burned.
Yeah. More times than not, they're seeming to benefit him, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So
he's
a great player. He definitely has his games that he struggles as well. But, man, still one of the better cornerbacks in the league. So, yeah, I agree with that. I think he is a great player. He's going to make them a better defense overall, too. So, I want to throw a few other numbers for you, too. I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but this is called the DVOA stats. And so, for you don't know, that just stands for Defense Adjusted Value Over Average.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a mouthful. It's a mouthful. So
yeah, yes, it is.
DVOA is much easier. But quick explanation for those who might not know what that is. So it takes the stats from every player and every team and it adjusts them based on the situation and everything else. So stats can be confusing sometimes. Like if a team is running for 200 yards against the Broncos versus running for 200 yards against the Ravens, that's a big difference. Right. So obviously the team that's running for 200 yards against the Ravens is more impressive because the Ravens have a much better run defense and better players and better run stoppers. And so it basically takes the average and averages some of those things out. So, for example, if a player runs for 3 yards, let's say, and 2 players run for 3 yards for different teams in different games. And so while on the stat paper, they look like the same player, but the DVOA stat takes all these things into consideration of, okay, what's the down and distance? Is it 3rd and goal from the 3? So you ran 3 yards and got a touchdown? Is it 3rd and 10 and they were just trying to catch the defense sleeping and got caught for 3 yards, right? And so all these different things go into it. And so it gives you a percentage bump up or down depending on what you do. So I think for every about 10 yards you run, you get 1 point bumped up. But for every sack you take or lost yards you take and interceptions, things like that, it gives you negative percentage points too. So it kind of averages it all out. So it basically, all that to just say, these rankings are much more probably accurate than some of the others, simply because they take everything into account and not just the numbers, which, as we just pointed out, numbers can be deceiving based on who you are or are not playing. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. But so here, I'll give you this first. There's only one team in the NFL that ranks in the top 5 in this DVOA stats in offense, defense, and special teams. I'm not going to leave you hanging too long. It's the Chiefs. The only team in the NFL that ranks in the top 5 in all 3 of those. So overall teams, Chiefs are ranked number 4, Dolphins are number 5. So both very, very good teams.
Wow.
Both top 5 teams overall. The offense, Dolphins are number 1. I don't think many people are surprised with that because they are killing it on offense.
Yes, they are.
Chiefs are number 5 in this ranking on offense. Defense, Chiefs are number 5, Dolphins are number 22. So just to show you the disparity between their offense and defense, pretty big gap. That seems to be
that's
usually
huge.
where the Chiefs are, right? Chiefs are usually top 5 offense and low 20s in defense. Special teams, Chiefs are 4. I'm gonna guess a lot of it has to do with Butker being 100% from field goals. Man, he is a stud.
Yes,
The Dolphins
he is.
are 25 in special teams. So those are just your rankings for the DVOA stats for you.
Wow. Well, that's pretty interesting. I mean, like, it makes a lot of sense because the Dolphins really haven't played too many good teams.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at their schedule and their wins and losses, you can't find one team with a winning record on there that they've beaten. Like, not one, right?
Not one.
Not one. Every team that they've lost to has been a team with a winning record. They lost to the Bills and the no, I forgot. Who's the other team they lost to? Do you remember?
Well, let's see. The Jaguars.
Oh, that's right. The Jaguars.
No, that was a preseason. That was preseason. I'm looking it up right now because they play the Chargers, Patriots, Broncos, which they beat 70-20. Gee whiz.
Yeah, that was the blowout game there.
The Panthers. Oh, the Eagles. The Eagles. They beat the Eagles beat them. So the Bills. And
the Eagles beat them pretty good, didn't they? It was 20-40 or 42 or something like that.
31-17.
Sure, something like that.
Yeah, 31-17. Yeah,
that's a pretty big. That's a pretty big difference in the NFL there. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna say the matchup to watch is a couple things.
Okay.
First thing for me, everybody versus Tyreek Hill. That guy is killing it right now.
Right.
And we know all about Tyreek Hill coming from the Chiefs. The Chiefs drafted him. And as you point out just a little bit ago, the Chiefs also traded him to the Dolphins.
Yep.
If you look at Tyreek Hill and ask him why he got traded, depends on the day, depends on what answer you're going to get, right?
Yep.
So some days it's because he wanted out and wanted to get paid. Other days he didn't ever want to leave, and the Chiefs just traded him. So
no, that's not true.
It's not true at all. The Chiefs offered him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he turned it down because he wanted to be the highest paid wide receiver ever, and he got to go to Miami and do so. The Chiefs decided they did not want to make him the highest paid player ever, to our point earlier of we're here to win championships for years to come, not just 1 year.
Right.
So you don't want to handcuff yourself for years to come because of a couple guys here. So, but yeah, you got to watch Tyreek versus. He is killing everybody right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is lights out. He has about as many receiving yards total on the year as our entire wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Probably even more. So, I mean, that is just how
I know he's hit 1,000, so he probably has more.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, he leads the league in receiving yards. He has 1,014 yards. So it is not even that close. So he's got about 70 yards on the next closest person with AJ Brown. So
AJ Brown,
that guy's good too, man.
Yes, he is.
That guy is a stud. So
yeah.
And he leads all wide receivers with touchdowns as well with 8. So
wow.
Yeah, it's not very close either. He is he's averaging over 16 yards per catch. So
yeah. So let's shut him down. Let's make sure there's a guy on him.
Yeah, I mean, he is averaging about 127 yards a game. So, and obviously with 8 touchdowns, he's averaging over a touchdown a game too. So, that's my matchup to watch. And things you got to do is everybody versus doesn't matter who's on him, whether it's a safety. Man, I think you just got to double cover. You have to protect deep and have one guy following him basically.
Yeah.
And have a safety deep who's just for Tyreek but that's the other thing is the matchup to watch, or maybe not matchup to watch, maybe it's more key to the game, but is just their speed in general for the Dolphins.
Right.
They got speed everywhere.
Waddle.
Even their running back, Mostert, right? That guy is lights out.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's one of my keys is the defensive line and our linebackers watching the run game. What can we do on the run game? Because like we have said on this podcast, especially after the Broncos game where we gave up 160, 150 yards just on the run game, and they control the clock. And, we know that the best defense or the best defense on Mahomes is keep him on the sideline. Don't let him get into a rhythm. And so are they going to be run heavy after watching the Broncos game and saying, oh, man, they had success. They controlled the clock. They controlled the tempo. Or are the Miami Dolphins going to want to put 70 on the Chiefs, and then just throw it around? And so I think that would hurt them if they decide to do that. But I think that'd be good for the Chiefs because I think that would play into our strength is our pass coverage and our rush coverage. And so maybe we can get Tua on the ground a couple times and get rid of him. But, I think really what to watch for is our defensive line and linebackers and see if we can stop Mostert in that running attack.
Yep. To give you an idea of how fast the Dolphins are, so the NFL tracks how fast people run now because that's just what we're all about.
Yeah.
The top 10 plays this season of the fastest players, 7 of them belong to Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
So 7 of the top 10, and the top 5 are all Dolphins.
Okay.
So, they're fast.
They're
fast. And it's not just Tyreek Hill. You got 3 or 4 guys for the top 10 there for the Dolphins that are putting those numbers up. So they got speed all around. And so, but the other thing think we need to watch is our linebackers. So Nick Bolton still out, right?
Yeah.
And then Willie Gay got banged up, and they asked, he didn't practice today or this week yet, and they were asking Andy Reid about it, and he said they asked him about IR even, and they said, well, we're not sure if we're going to put him on IR or not, which tells me that maybe it's a more serious thing than not if they're even considering putting him on IR, which means he'd be out a minimum of 4 weeks. So they said it's something with his lower back contusion. Now
so I heard tailbone.
Could be.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And so I wonder if, that would hurt. Can you imagine playing with
it'd be real hurt? It hurt real bad. No doubt.
Real bad. You could fall back. You could fall back on it. Oh my goodness, the pain. Yeah.
Very painful. I mean, luckily we have a deep linebacker room. But you take those two, Willie Gay is so fast. He covers up ground really quick for anybody that's out of position or whatever. Nick Bolton he brings the wood and lays people out.
Yeah.
So Drew Tranquil, no shot at him at all. He has been playing lights out too.
Oh yeah,
he's played in every game, even when he hasn't been starting. So he's been playing great, and we have other guys that are really good too, but it's hard to replace guys like Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, no matter who your backups are.
Right.
So watching those linebackers, see how they play, especially if Willie Gay's not there too, I think if I was the Dolphins and if Willie Gay's not there, I'm attacking the middle and see how those linebackers are doing.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And so hopefully our defense comes to play.
I hope so. All right, so my key to the game, if the Chiefs want to win this game, they have to slow down the Dolphins' run game. So the Chiefs have not been good against the run most this year. I mean, their ranking is 19th in rushing as far as their defense goes. It's almost dropping every week because their yards per average is out of control. But so they need to slow down the run and then slow down Tyreek Hill. If they can do those two things, I'm not saying stop Tyreek Hill. I want to be clear. I did not say stop. I don't think you're going to stop him all game because he's that good. But just slow down. Keep him under his 126 average, right?
Yeah.
I'd
keep
say
him out of the end zone. I think that's the big thing. Like, just keep him out of the end zone. If he wants to get yards.
If you keep him out of the end zone and under 100 yards, I'd take it. You tell me he's got 95 yards and no touchdowns. As crazy as it sounds, I would take that. I'd take that all day.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. And I think that's where our defenses step up. Just keep them out of the end zone. Keep all these wide receivers out of the end zone. Make them work. At least make them work for it. Where it's like, man, this is hard. And I think our defense will. I think our defense will make them work. And so I can't wait to see that defensive line and Tua. And so I know the Miami offensive line is a little banged up. And so let's see what we can do and what kind of pressure we can get.
Yep.
With four guys.
Yes. Yeah. So no doubt. And I think if they can't get pressure with 4 guys, they got to send blitzes more often.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every play, but you got to get pressure. So, you got to get pressure on Tua.
And that's the key to it. Just get him off his mark, move him. I think he becomes a mediocre quarterback when he's off his mark. And so let's do that. Let's make sure that he's moving around and trying to throw. And just break up the timing.
Yeah, well, and if you get him off his mark, you have to be prepared for the run too, because he is for sure a runner when he gets moving.
Yeah.
So, he's not like Patrick Mahomes, who's going to spend a lot of time running behind the line of scrimmage so he can still throw the ball. When he starts moving, he might look for a little bit, but then he's taken off. So get pressure, but contain him while getting pressure too.
He's a poor man's Russ Wilson.
There you go. So, I don't know if the Dolphins fans would agree with you, but yeah.
Well, not Russ Broncos, Russ Seahawks.
All right. Well, even with the Broncos, as much as I hate to give any Broncos player credit, Russ Wilson is not the Broncos' problem this year.
Oh, really?
No, he's not. I mean,
what is?
Their defense for the most part. And
I think Russ gives up the ball too much, right?
Well, you know what? He might, but think about this. He might have some turnovers here and there, but he's also one of the best. He's top 5 in almost every passing category in the NFL.
Huh. Wow.
So, I mean, yards, touchdowns, all those things. So he's not their problem.
All right. What does our offense got to do? What do you want to see from the offense, the Kansas City Chiefs offense?
It's a great question, Dale. One I've been pondering for a while now. I'm going to say this. I think that for the Chiefs offense to get going, they have 7 wide receivers on their roster, the most they've had, and maybe since Andy Reid's been here, I think.
Yeah.
They're trying to get so many people going that nobody's getting going.
Right.
And so I think they have to take a step back, say, you know what? We tried this experiment of let's just get everybody the ball and feed everybody. That's not working. So pick your top 4 guys if you want, right? However many you need. And say, you are our guys. You're the guys we're going to lean on. These other guys, we'll sprinkle them in when you need a break, but you are our guys, and you're going to be the guys out there, and we need to see you doing more.
Right.
And I'm going to say, too, MVS has got to step up, right?
Yeah.
I was rewatching the game the other day against the Broncos, and, and you'll remember this. I remember it from the game, too, but I was just reminded of it watching it. There's a play where Mahomes throws MVS the ball, and MVS is just standing there waiting for it instead of getting back to it, right?
Yeah.
And so because of that, it's broken up. And afterwards, you can see Mahomes telling him, you got to come back to the ball.
Yeah.
MVS is the veteran wide receiver in this room, and you tell me he doesn't know to come back to the ball?
Right.
I mean,
you got it. You got to.
You got to know that. So my thing is, if you want to fix the offense, you got to get some of these wide receivers going by giving them more opportunities and more playing time. And the flip side of that is you got to not just throw away the run game just because you want to throw the ball. You got to be balanced. You got Pacheco, who's a great runner. Use him. All
right. Yeah, I agree with you 100% with all that. It's just let's trim down the wide receiver room, maybe add a couple linebackers to the team and cut some or put some guys on the practice squad. I don't know. Because, man, like you said, we don't have the Juju experiment, right? It always worked out when Juju was on the field, so it's not working out right now.
Yeah. All right. So score predictions for this game. So it's this Sunday, 8:30 a.m. So I'm going to be in church. I'm assuming you're going to be there as well. So we will not be able to watch the game live.
Is that 8:30 a Central or
8:30 a.m. Central time? So here in the Kansas City area. Central time zone, 8:30 a.m. So right when I'm supposed to be at church and get rolling here. So
well, yeah, me too. We're both just average pastors and average Chiefs fans, and so we'll both be at church. So I'm hoping no one spoils it for me, but I don't think that's going to happen. We have some college students that are some Miami Dolphins fan. They said they're going to show up in their Dolphins jersey, either you're happy or mad. So I think I'll know the score, but I'm gonna look forward to watching it. I'm excited for the NFL and just expanding. This is the first game in Germany? Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, so first game in Germany, and so hopefully it's a great show. Hopefully our defense shows up and our offense shows up, and we just run them out of the stadium.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm kind of hoping the same thing. Hope it doesn't get spoiled for me, but not necessarily crossing my fingers and expecting that to happen. Someone's going to even unintentionally just say, "Oh, good job today," or "Man, hard loss," right? Just so it'll happen, but that's all right. So also watch it and see what it's all about. But so score prediction for this game, man, I've gone back and forth to how close I think it's going to be. Man, do you know what the spread is?
2.5.
2.5. All right.
The Chiefs. So the Chiefs are favored.
Chiefs. All right. So,
which is wild.
Yeah, I would not have thought after the Broncos game that the Chiefs would have been favored in this. So, something.
I watched a sports show and they said the last 3 weeks, maybe last 4 weeks, the house has won. So the people have been wrong about the last 3 weeks, and so the Vegas has really started collecting a lot of money from the public.
Well, they don't lose money often, which is why they can keep doing it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So my score is going to be a close game, a little more than the 2.5. I'm going to say the Chiefs offense is going to put up some points this week. I think they got a little bit embarrassed with the Broncos, and they're going to be working their tails off this week to be ready. And I think they're going to be ready. I think Chiefs are going to get 31. The Dolphins are going to keep it close for a while, and they might score a few. I think they're going to get another score at the end, kind of some garbage time points. So I'm going to say Chiefs 31, Dolphins 27.
Okay. Yeah. I have a similar score. So I thought it was going to be 34-31 Chiefs.
All right. 34-31.
Yeah. So similar score, but I think they're both going to score 30. And I think we got a last second field goal from Harrison, the MVP, Harrison Buckner, right? And going to win the game. So I think this game will be whoever has the ball last, right?
Yeah, very well could be.
And so I think how embarrassed the Kansas City Chiefs were on this past Sunday. I think they're not going to let that happen again.
Yeah, and I think that's going to go for both sides of the ball, offense and defense.
Right.
The Dolphins are going to get their points just because they're that good of an offense.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs defense is going to slow down the Dolphins offense more than people expect it to. And after this week, the people are going to start realizing how good the Chiefs defense is. Right now, they're kind of just a party commodity at this point. Be like, oh, well, they do good sometimes. And I think this week they're going to show people how real they are. Or maybe how not real they are, right? So we'll find out. But I think they're the real deal. Not saying they're the number one defense, but they're going to show out. So another question to follow up with that. So they got the Dolphins this week. They got their bye after that, and then they got the Eagles.
Yeah.
And, next month in December, they play both the Bills and the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
So all four of those teams are Super Bowl contenders, or at least close to being it. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what I think about the Bills being a Super Bowl contender, but I think the other ones, Bengals, are on their way up. So realistically speaking, okay, I know it's hard to do as a Chiefs fan, but realistically speaking, if these four games, how many games can the Chiefs lose and it still be okay?
Yeah.
Or do you really expect them to go undefeated through all four of those games?
I think they get the W this. I mean, I'm like 80-20. They get the W this week, and then we know like Andy Reid off a bye against the Eagles. I think is a very good chance of them winning. And Jalen Hurts, I think, is hurt. He's not playing his best ball, so I think and then with the Chiefs defense, I think the Chiefs defense is elite. And so I think that's going to cause problems. And I think if they lose to the Bengals, who cares? Because it's not the playoffs, right? And so they can beat them in the regular season. So I think they go 3-4, either losing to the Eagles or the Bengals. But I think they go
3-1.
3-1. Sorry, yeah.
I think they'll go 3-1, possibly 2-2. I don't think they'll do any worse than that. I think they'll beat the Dolphins this week. Man, the next time against the Eagles, I know they're coming off a bye, and so
it's in Arrowhead. It's Monday night, baby.
It is. So that's going to be a tough game, though, because the Eagles right now, they're playing good all over.
Yeah. But that's the most rest you can get off a bye week, too. Monday Night Football.
Well, it's true. But they're also traveling back from Germany too, so they might take a few more days just to sightsee or something. We'll see. But anyways, just interesting thought there. So if they do drop this one, the Chiefs, that is, if they do drop this one against the Dolphins, how realistic are their chances moving forward?
Oh yeah,
Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, there's still a lot of football left. All right, we got the whole month of November, whole month of December.
But how do you feel about them? I mean, yeah, they're technically wouldn't be out of it by any means, but
right.
How confident would you feel in it?
So my confidence level is ask me in Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm saying they lose to the Dolphins. How confident are you after that?
Yeah. Ask me in Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Because
so
I think
you got to sit on it for a while.
Well, I think like if they don't have it figured out, if the offense hasn't figured it out by Thanksgiving, there's no shot.
Yeah. Well, you're telling me you got to wait 3 weeks for a question I'm asking that's going to happen in a few days.
Well, I'm just saying if they lose, I'm saying like, okay, let's see what we look like against the Eagles. Let's see what we look like against the Bills. Let's see what we look like. Though.
Yeah. What is your thoughts of it in that moment that they lose to the Dolphins?
Oh, well, for me, I mean, like, it depends on you ask me. You ask me Sunday afternoon, the sky's falling. You ask me Monday, I'm a little more even keel. So, yeah, definitely.
All right. It's Wednesday after the game that they've lost.
Oh, we're fine.
All right. So we're fine.
We're fine. We're still contenders.
All right.
Not a doubt in my mind. As long as we have 1-5 and 8-7 are upright, we're contenders.
All right. So let's do our player comparison real quick.
Oh, man.
We don't have much time. We're going to squeeze it in here. Okay. So you got two defensive guys here. And they're both linebackers. I'll give you that.
Okay.
So player A has 34 solo tackles. Player B has 31. Assisted tackles. Player 1 has 14. Player 2 has 24. Sacks, player 1, 3.5. Player 2, 1. Forced fumbles, 2 versus 1. Passes defense, 1 each.
Oh, wow.
So they're close. They're close.
They are very close.
One's got more assisted tackles. One's got more sacks, basically.
Yeah. I'm definitely, both linebackers. So I'm definitely taking player A. Right.
All right. Well, player A is Drew Tranquil.
Okay.
Player B is David Long Jr., probably the Dolphins' best linebacker. So,
well, never heard of him.
Well, he's good. I'll tell you that.
He's good. Okay, all right. He's good.
All right. Hey, well, thanks for joining us this episode of the Kingdom Corner. We'll see you next time.